Items 51, 50 and 51. May I have a motion?
Yes, Supervisor, I will move items number 50 and 51 on the administrative calendar.
I second that motion. I have a statement that I wish to be included in the minutes, and I will give you a copy of it together with the minutes. Supervisor Murray, fellow council members, and Attorney Joe and citizens of the town of Hempstead. I object not to specific individuals being appointed tonight, but rather I object to the process by which the town board will be choosing the representatives for councilmatic districts 3 and 5 without any input or vote by the citizens of those districts. By virtue of the Goosey versus the Town of Hempstead Voting Rights Act litigation, the town of Hempstead was divided into 6 councilmatic districts to give voters in our communities more direct representation in their local town government. We are now in the 15th year of representation by councilmatic districts, and this is the first time that vacancies, not just 1 but 2, have arisen in the councilmatic districts in the middle of the elected council members' terms. Prior vacancies in the middle of terms have existed only in town-wide elected positions since the Hempstead adoption of councilmatic districts. Consider what we are doing here. There are vacancies in the position of town council members for District 3 and 5. Not counting Supervisor Murray, none of the council members who are voting on these appointments represent any of the town of Hempstead citizens from councilmatic districts 3 and 5. In other words, the council members from every other part of the town of Hempstead are choosing the council members who will represent councilmatic districts 3 and 5. This is very undemocratic. This is a very undemocratic process, and that's undemocratic with a small d. Accordingly, in order that the citizens of councilmatic districts 3 and 5 may choose their own representatives to the town board, I move that we table the pending motion and pass a resolution changing the method by which the town board fills a vacancy in the councilmatic district from appointment by the town board to a special election. I have prepared a resolution to change the town code to enact this change and to publish a notice of hearing for the proposed new law. The proposed local law is based on the language and process adopted by another Long Island town government that has councilmatic districts, and it reads: a proposed local law amending the code of the town of Hempstead, Chapter 7, elections on propositions by the addition of Article 4, special election to fill vacancies in the elected office. The purpose: the residents of the town of Hempstead are entitled to and deserve elected officials who have actually been chosen by the elected voters in the township through public elections. The current method of filling a vacancy in an elective office, which is by appointment by the town board, does not reflect a decision made by the public that the town board is supposed to represent. The system of filling a vacancy by appointment is particularly undemocratic when a vacancy is filled in a council district representative seat, since no eligible voter of that councilmatic district would have any influence in the choice of their newly appointed town council representative. Indeed, as a result of court ruling in Goosey versus Town of Hempstead, such an appointment process in filling a vacancy in councilmatic district number 1 likely would violate the Federal Voting Rights Act, since the representative of a current majority-minority district would be chosen by the representatives in the current majority councilmatic district. Furthermore, the purpose of the Voting Rights Act is to prevent discrimination in the exercise of the electoral franchise and to foster our transformation to a society that is no longer fixated on race. For the following reason, the town board adopts the following measure to uphold the fundamental principles of our democracy, and representatives should be chosen by the people. Procedure. A special election to fill a vacancy in an elected office shall be held whenever a vacancy shall occur or exist in an elected town office. Such special elections to be held not less than 60 days following such vacancy and not more than 90 days following such vacancy. If the vacancy occurs within 90 days before the town biennial general election, the office shall remain vacant until filled at a special election held on the same day as the town biennial general election. If the vacancy occurs within 60 days before the town biennial election, Section 8 should apply in order to provide at least 60 days to campaign for office to fill the vacancy. Some may complain that special elections cost money and appointment by the town board is less expensive. To that, I respond. Are we going to put a price tag on the right of our citizens to choose their own representatives? Are we going to put a price tag on democracy in exchange for political expediency? Another important consideration, should a mid-term vacancy occur in a minority-majority councilman district, the representatives of the majority district would end up appointing the town council member for the minority community. This certainly would be contrary to the intent of the Newsweek versus Town of Hempstead Court and likely a violation of the Voting Rights Act on which the lawsuit is based. I request a vote on my motion to table the pending appointments and pass my resolution calling for a public hearing at the next town board meeting to change the method by which we fill vacancies in elected offices. I thank you for
I second it.
I would like to just address it, if I may, Madam Supervisor. Unfortunately, I have a great deal of respect and admiration for Councilwoman Ruby. Unfortunately, her facts and her research are faulty with respect to this matter. First of all, Councilman Ambrosino, our distinguished colleague, was some years ago, after the advent of councilmanic districts, he was, because of the vacancy, he was appointed to fill his position as the councilman for District Number 2, and then ran in the general election in the subsequent November. So this is not the first time. It happened previously when, again, Councilman Ambrosino first joined this town board. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly, the town board has no discretion when it comes to filling this vacancy. It is governed by state law. Any change in the procedure that we were able to use would have to be undertaken by the state legislature. The only discretion we would have at this point is to leave the position vacant until the November general election, which obviously would leave 1/3 of the town of Hempstead without councilmanic representation. So, notwithstanding the statement that Councilwoman Dewsbury made, her research is faulty. There is no discretion. It is state law. We are following the procedure mandated by state law, and it is just interesting to note that it is the exact same procedure that the town of North Hempstead followed in January 2014 when a vacancy in a councilmanic district, because they are in districts in North Hempstead, not town-wide, when a vacancy in a councilmanic district resulted in the appointment of a Councilman Peter Zuckerman, again, January 2014, and he was in that position as an appointee until the general election of November 2014. So just as North Hempstead followed New York State law, the town of Hempstead has no alternative other than to follow New York State law, other than to leave those positions vacant until the November general election, which I think everyone would agree would be denying representation to approximately 33% of the town of Hempstead. Now, if I say anything that is at variance with the law, I would ask to be corrected by the town attorney, but again, it is codified by state law that this is the procedure that must be. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Well, I tell you, the whole thing is, you're my friend too, but there's a certain time when we have to make sure that we conduct business. Now, if I was out of my office, you would select, all of you would sit here and you would vote for the person that would fill my position. Not necessarily, and you have no right to do that. That is a federal case. That's why we have councilman at district, councilman, senior councilman. That's why we have it.
But in all due respect, Mrs. Gooseby, we're talking
Not
about...
Mrs. Gooseby, councilman.
Councilwoman, you are speaking hypothetically about something that is not before this town board. What is before this town board is vacancies that currently exist in district number 3 and district number 5. That's the matter before the town board.
But you don't represent 3. Neither does anyone else.
But again, I thought I made it quite clear, it is the only procedure under existing New York State law where we can fill these positions. Otherwise, we would be leaving the residents of those two districts unrepresented at the councilmanic level until November.
So in other words, people that live in those districts have absolutely nothing to do with the people who represent them. You choose those people as you want to, and the others vote for them.
That is,
But this is not the way,
But that is
the
what-
federal law, this is federal law that I'm speaking of.
the only procedure, it's exactly the same procedure that was used in North Hempstead to replace, to appoint Councilman Zuckerman last January in North Hempstead in the councilmanic district. It's the procedure that was used in North Hempstead because it is the only procedure available to this board under New York State law, which is the governing authority in this case.
But he was an appointee.
Yes, he was. Just as these two individuals, well, assuming that the rest of the board concurs with my motion, these individuals will be appointees in a couple of moments, just like Councilman
I know
Zuckerman.
they're already in. I know that, but I'm still speaking to the people who are not up here and who have a right to be heard because this is the United States of America. And in the United States of America is governed of the people, by the people, and for the
But
people.
Councilwoman,
I
it
don't
was,
think, I'm telling you.
it was
We're not
exactly,
arguing more
it
about
was
it,
exactly
but,
the procedure utilized in North Hempstead, because it's the only procedure available under state law.
I think the instructive point may be that if people are dissatisfied with this process, lobby your state representatives, because it is state legislators and state legislators alone who can change this law.
Well, it needs to be changed. If what you're saying is correct, because I don't, this is good research. And I don't think you're just using something, because it's more of you than me. I know I'm just one. And all of you, you're going to do it anyway. But I'm still going to have my say.
Absolutely.
Can we get to talk on that?
I'm finished for now.
Councilwoman, we can count on that. Karen Montalbano. Good evening.
Happy New Year. It's Karen Montalbano, I'm the president of the Walden City Association. Can you write that?
Yes, please.
2611 Park Avenue, Walden, New York.
Thank you.
Walden Civic Association would like to take this time to thank Councilman Mayhew for many years of service to the town of Hempstead. And we appreciate her work with the area of community development. We are disappointed, though, that we had to find out about her retirement through other channels and not through any formal announcement or representative of the town. We look forward to meeting with her replacement as soon as that person is settled and has available time to discuss the specific needs of the Walden community, especially our downtown and our ongoing project at Grand Avenue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm sure, speaking for everyone, I'm sure she's, I know she's looking forward to sitting with you and the other groups in your district. I think you'll be very, very happy. Thank you, Mr. Mullen. Is it, forgive me, is it Irene Weiss? And Joanne Flora. Oh, Joanne Flora, Joanne Flora, yes. Well, you go back.
Always.
I believe,
97,
I don't know what's going on.
yes.
We'll be arranging.
You were the first, you were my first political opponent. Nice to see you.
Hi, Joanne Flora, 2611 Central Avenue, Baldwin. In Baldwin, we are an unincorporated village. And because we're an unincorporated village, we seem to be underrepresented in town of Hempstead deliberations. And I really am upset about that because, and basically this appointment to vacancies on the town board seem to reinforce that kind of feeling. The appointment of seating insiders smacks of nepotism, and really I think if the town board was aware of these vacancies, there could have been other names that could have been circulated, that the villages and the towns within the council managed districts would have been more involved in the process.
Thank you, Ms. Fleur. Nice to see you. Kevin Brady. Good evening, sir. If you can state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you. The same to you.
Kevin Brady, 51 Bobby Lane, D-O-B-O-L-A-N-K, because we always spell it over the phone, Levittown, New York. I have a lot of the same concerns as Councilman Gooseby and some of the representatives from Baldwin, mostly because I've had such a positive experience with my own councilman from Levittown, Gary Hughes. One of my stories my mother tells all the time about responsiveness of government. My young brother had been assaulted once, unfortunately, at gunpoint off Division Avenue, and you came down to the scene there, because you know the community, you care about us. You're a great neighbor. I love seeing your wife at Starbucks. My concern is, by the way, I want to welcome the new council members who are going to be appointed, it looks like. After all, a woman named Erin King-Sweeny, I'm always for more Irish in government. I'm Brady.
I can't disagree with you on that.
And fellow Levittowner, you get it. I mean, my concern is about Bruce Blakeman, only because my understanding is he, obviously he'll be appointed, obviously. He may well be a friend of your guys. I would never presume negativity just because people might know people. I guess a lot of people have told me that he's only lived in the town of Hempstead itself for a matter of a few weeks, or at least only moved his voting to outside of the city of Long Beach at the beginning of the new year. I guess my question would be, given my love of members of the council, all of you guys as board people love your communities, to make sure people are responsive to the communities that they live in because they know them, my question would be, or concern would be, about appointing somebody who hasn't been democratically elected, and we know you take that risk and that reward when you do it, to appoint someone who might have tenuous ties to the community. I know we for Congress, but...
Actually, he does it as a Brady, and might be something that you are not aware. Well, he has recently moved into a community in the town of Hempstead, grew up in Valley Street. So we have very, very deep ties to the town of Hempstead. So he's been almost his entire life has been lived within the town of Hempstead.
But legally speaking, has only lived in the town of Hempstead now for the last 2 weeks.
But before that, it was, as I say, he was born and bred in Valley Street. So he is very Valley Street Central High School, I think. Because one of our students, Westinghouse students, the big winner actually of the evening, was from there, and that's where he graduated from. So he has deep ties to the town of Hempstead community, I can assure you.
If I may add, Madam Supervisor, maybe a little bit before your time, but he was a representative on this town board.
Yes.
And represented the five towns community on this town board. He was the first representative of the five towns in the Nassau County Legislature. He served as the presiding officer of the Nassau County Legislature, serving from the Woodmere community, where he owned a home. Again, as the supervisor said, after growing up in Valley Stream, he was there. And again, representing the five towns community, both on this town board and on the county legislature. So Mr. Blakeman's roots run very, very deep in the town of Hempstead, so you should have no fears on that as well.
Did he ever officially run for mayor of New York City, or? I know he floated his name at one point.
First of all, that's immaterial to this discussion. You were talking about his roots with respect to the town of Hempstead, and as I just said, from his pedigree, having, as a supervisor said, having grown up in Valley Stream, gone to public school in Valley Stream, and then represented the five towns community on both the town board and the county legislature. His roots run pretty deep in the town of Hempstead.
Just out of curiosity. Well, thank you guys. Happy New Year, by the way.
Thank you,
Don't say
same
that
to
now,
you.
so.
Thank you. To Laura Downs? I hope I said your name right.
You did.
You could share your name and address for the record.
Sure. My name is Laura Adams. I live at 7 Park Drive in Baldwin.
Thank you.
My concern is with Ms. Cullen. Since the redistricting of Tony Santino and Ms. Cullen took over for her, she has made several attempts to schedule meetings with us in Baldwin, and somehow they all got canceled. And now that she has resigned, you know, the people in Baldwin still need to be represented. So my concern is this going to be the behavior?
No, it's a completely a new person. If the board votes and she turns into Councilwoman King-Sweeny tonight, I can assure you she is going to be very, very responsive to not only the Baldwin community, but all of the communities in her councilmatic district. I can assure you.
Because, you know, it really is a concern. I feel like I've been involved in a long time, and we've been ignored, quite a bit ignored. And I feel, you know, as a resident of Portland, that we really should have a special election, as Councilwoman Beasley said, because I don't feel that we are being represented.
Well, again, our hands are tied on that specific sport. So our options are keep the district empty and have absolutely no representative for Baldwin and for the other communities in those councilmatic districts, or have an appointment scenario. We, I believe, I think I can speak for the board, we believe to have a live person who is working in the trenches with you every day is a far better solution. And then, of course, in the general election in November, everybody gets the opportunity to express their opinion.
So then we should be optimistic that this person.
You should be absolutely optimistic.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Downs. Madam Meredith? Good evening again.
Yes.
Rita J. Merriday, 758 Wesley Street, Baldwin. Third generation Nassau County resident, and the facility that we're sitting in, my family laid the cement for the foundation. I knew Mr. Bennett. I know a lot of the names that are on signs as we drive through a county that I used to love and respect. Now, I'm not so sure. First of all, I want to commend Councilwoman Gooseby for her tireless efforts and advocacy for the growing underserved constituencies in this township. Secondly, I would like to echo, I know it's probably just fruitless, but I would like to echo her request to have the decision tabled with regard to both appointments, because the voices of the underserved in our communities are not being heard. And that is unfortunate. And as you well know, and the record will attest, that I have sat before this body for a number of meetings, looking at the empty chair that now has the missing nameplate for the representation that you say we so strongly deserve in our community that we have not had for the last 3 to 4 months. And even inquiring with regard to our now retired councilwoman as to where was she, what was going on, where was our representation, and being told various and sundry scenarios. She's on vacation, I admired someone who could take a vacation for 16 weeks, things of that nature. And again, it saddens me that what little rights and opportunities that we have, that my forefathers and ancestors seemingly continue to fight for on a daily basis, are being trampled in this situation. So I am very saddened by that. So I can only hope that we can all step back and take a moment to just review. And I would be curious to find out what exactly is the section and chapter of this New York State law that specifically says that this is how it has to act. This is how it has to be. Because I even looked at the code of the town of Hempstead, and there are provisions with regard to having a list of individuals who could be considered for appointments in respect to vacancies for elected positions. And we didn't even have that option. If we had that option, that there was a list of potential candidates in the offset of having a vacancy. Because these things happen, I understand it. But we would still like to know that our voices are being heard, that our tax dollars actually matter. Because we're still driving around in Baldwin with vacant buildings and underdeveloped downtown and all these other communities around us are thriving, and it hurts. It does hurt. And it's enough. It is enough. This whole redistricting process that has us carved up like a slice of pizza was also done undercover. We didn't know half the things that were happening because most of us were fighting in Nassau County for that situation. We have to fight for everything that we get, the crumbs that we get in Baldwin. We have to continue to fight for, and it's not right. And it's tiring. As I sit here today, I'm also mourning the loss of a veteran, a homeless veteran, who lived in the streets of the township of Hempstead for years. He died on Christmas Eve in Mercy Hospital from an infection that he acquired in one of the care facilities in the town of Hempstead. He fared better living on the streets than in these overly funded facilities in this area. So as most of you already know, my passion is for the underserved veterans in our community who are dying on a daily basis. I'm tired. I am very tired. And to have to hear through channels and rumors that we're going to get a representative that I've had no input, that I have no knowledge of what this person can bring to the table, that's going to represent me and my interests, enough. All I can say is enough.
Well, again, I would suggest you absolutely talk to your state representatives until that state law is changed.
What exactly is that law? What does it actually say?
We can get that section of law for you, Ms. Merritt.
Because there's nothing in the codes, you can still operate
Right.
within the codes of the town of Hempstead. And the seat has been vacant already for 4 months.
It's section 64 of the town.
Section 64 of the town law of New York State? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Merritt. Garfield Flores?
Good evening.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you,
Can you
Supervisor.
share your name and
Yes,
address?
394 Warwick Road, East Meadow, New York.
Thank you.
I'm here on behalf of the Latin American Pastor Association, Salvador Garcia, who's got a church at 338 Belmore Avenue in East Meadow. He sends his greetings to everyone. He wants to also just put out a statement. If at any time that you are available, the councilman, Mr. Santino, for the town clerk, we'd like to sit down to express some of the community concern, the Latino community, because he's the president of the Latin American Pastor Association, which is, the office is in Freeport, that,
Blakeman?
LIPA, yes. I
Yes,
know
we
you-
have a LIPA,
LIPA. So I know you
much
need.
better one.
Yes, indeed. But he feels like the Latino people right now, in the last 6 months, they've been targeted by some building inspectors in Uniondale and in East Meadow. And he just wanted to sit down with her, see how we can help them, because I know there's a language barrier. There's a language barrier, and some of them, they have big families, and they just feel like they're being targeted. And so he asked me to please, if I can come and speak
I
on
thought you were
behalf.
speaking, I'm sorry, I thought you were speaking on the councilmatic resolutions, but we would be happy, I don't know that you reached out to Councilman Hughes, and just, who of course represents East Meadow, and I don't recall getting a
No, no,
call, but
no.
we
He
would be
just-
happy to sit down.
Yes, thank you. And he also wanted to congratulate Mr. Bruce Blakeman for his, I guess, his new job he's going to be doing here. His old job. But I know he had a really good communication with them during the last few years. And he just wanted to send him greeting, and he's looking forward to working with them in the minority groups. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, we'd be delighted to sit down.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Donna Casazza? Good afternoon.
Good
Happy
evening,
New
Donna
Year.
Casazza, 405 Coleridge Road in Rockford, Virginia. I just have one comment to make. Councilwoman Andrew Cullen has been gone since August, and I know, Ms. Murray, you said that they can wait till next November to vote on a council person for that district, but wouldn't it have been nice if she would have, retired in September, and they could have voted in November in the election then? It just seems to be ironic, it seems to be disingenuous that there happens to be 2 positions open in January, one with the judge appointment, and one she's been out for 4 months, canceling appointments, and nothing was done.
She hasn't been out for 4 months.
I don't think she's been here in 4 months though, right? So why was it, since August?
Yes. I'm not sure about the town board.
So we're saying is in September, we knew she wasn't coming back, why not let these,
We didn't know that she wasn't coming back.
I know, we now know in December 31st that she
Right, she
retired.
put in her resignation letter December 31st, I believe.
Right, and the Republicans now are choosing 2 other positions.
Yes, this is the first town
And
board.
I'm just saying, I'm commenting, wouldn't it have been nice if they would have been able to vote in this last general election for those positions or that position, and not have to wait a full year?
Well, with all due respect, she had fallen and
I know that, but I
got
can
very
hear, I
injured.
know, but I can hear.
And that precipitated the
I know
retirement,
that,
so
but you said-
let's be a little respectful.
No, I'm being respectful, but what I'm saying is the older community had come here and had meetings canceled month after month with no someone else supporting them and coming. What I'm saying is maybe someone should have stepped in and said, that position could have been available in November. It just seems a little disingenuous that those 2 positions are ironically available now in January.
Mr. Kelly, with all due respect, Councilwoman Cullen, try her best right to the end.
I'm sure.
And she served with great distinction on this board for several decades. Did an outstanding job.
But that's really not the
She did an
point.
Please, I let you speak, so please hear me out.
Usually you're texting on your phone, usually when people are speaking.
Please, let me finish. She served with distinction on this town board. She served with distinction I'm not going to debate, just making
No, I know, but you're saying it's personal. This is not a personal
She
thing.
served with distinction as receiver of taxes. She worked diligently in her office up until a fall, as she's an older woman, and a fall prohibited her from continuing her duties, and based on consultation with her family, she resigned at the end of the year. But she worked diligently up until the fall. It was
But Mr.
not.
Santino, I'm not taking it personally.
Well,
What I'm saying is it's just ironic
I
that these
just
positions
think-
become available.
I just think that any commentary, and there's been several speakers who have said things that have somehow, at least in my view, been intended to disparage the service of Councilwoman Cullen.
Absolutely.
Councilwoman Cullen was a trailblazer,
Oh,
an
but-
outstanding public official who worked very diligently right up until the end when her health did not permit her to do it anymore.
But again, you're taking it personally. I've never come here with a personal, I'm sure she has, but then so too have the people that come and they vote once a year for their elected officials. And I'm just saying that it is so ironic that two of these positions are available. One, Mr. Blakeman, who just lost to Kathleen Rice, all of a sudden the position is available. Now another position is available, Peter King's daughter. Ironic. And as the woman said before, I cannot believe that there's no other person that was available that per the town rules that could have stood in those positions. Again, nothing personal, but these people are being disenfranchised. They had a right, probably in November, to vote for that position. Maybe not so much for that position because he's taking a judgeship, but definitely for that position.
Right, and that judgeship came
And
up
what happens when
because
you
of the
take the district attorney? We've all seen that in the paper. So we've got a new Republican. What happens if you take
Ms.
the
Casaza, with regard to the judgeship for former Councilman Jim Darcy, that was created as a result of the elections of November. So it wasn't artificially created.
I know that. I'm saying,
So vacancies happen.
accepting him. I'm saying with respect to that position. It just seems that everything's just playing right into place. Thank you.
Thanks. I don't have any other speaking slips. Does anybody else have some scratching? Oh.
I didn't know 51 and 52 on the agenda because it
I have to
wasn't.
take exception to this, because you spoke already, okay? I didn't get to speak yet. I think you should wait, no, you should wait until everybody else gets a turn, and then maybe let you go around.
You're on the miscellaneous, we're not going to know you, but you're
Okay,
you're
this
listed
man
on
spoke
the list.
already.
Mr. Procacci speaks many times every council. But Ms. Name, just so you're aware, I do have your speaking slip, because it's not on a particular item, it'll be in the miscellaneous portion. Mr. Procacci.
Yes, Felix Procacci, 1165 Bond Street, Franklin Square, New York. Just to address what was done in North Hempstead, I'm not going to discuss state rules because I really don't know them, but there were many candidates put forward, and they were in the paper, and I'm sure people expressed, I think it was 10 candidates that were, whose names were put up as possible successors to that town council position. So people could input with Ms. Wadsworth, Supervisor Wadsworth, as to their opinion on this candidate, that candidate. There was an opportunity. This is what I learned. This is from the town's website that I receive all the e-news from even North Hempstead, from every municipality that offers e-news in Nassau County, because I need to know what's going on, because we're all connected together whether we like it or not. Sometimes they want to have their own school district, but we're connected to each other, we water each other. But all of a sudden you see 4 council members here instead of 6. And if you go to the front page where all the news is, there's events, highlights, news, and video. Up until, I think the last time I checked it was 4:30 this afternoon, there was no news about these appointments. If the law says that you have to wait till November, I respect the law. I go by the letter of the law. But once you found out that Councilwoman Cullen was going to retire on December 31st, once you got that resignation, let's put it this way, if I was in a position to do something about it, I knew about it, I would make sure that everybody I know, and I would use every means I have, and you have a lot more means than I have. You have a lot more money here, you got $2 million in postage you can spend. And you could put out a mailing, you could put out an emailing, you could have posted it on the town website, let us know that our councilwoman, what's on mine, the Orleans councilwoman has retired. Maybe people had an idea of who they might want to put up for the appointment. If you have your preference, Peter King's daughter, that's fine too. Put them all together, maybe have a community meeting and have people talk so they get a feel of. There's a lot of legal things you could do besides rush this through in a press release dated today. A press release should have been dated on December 31st, and I don't know when you knew about Councilman Darcy's appointment to the
About
judge.
4 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
Okay, 4 o'clock, well, then there's an exception. You just found out 4 o'clock?
The legislature voted.
Okay, it became official, but I heard through another source, I think a few days earlier, that he was going to get the position. But
Well,
maybe it
until the
didn't become
legislature
official.
votes,
Okay,
nothing
well,
happens.
at least, look, everything doesn't happen until it votes, but, you know, you do caucusing here, right? You do talk about things, you don't just hand out 52 resolutions and then you get the vote, you talk about it before. So, as soon as you learn that there's a possibility that he was nominated for a position, put it out as a press release so people know that there's going to be now 4 council members and not 6, and they might have some ideas as far as tabling the resolution, maybe not vote on it today, but maybe wait 6 more weeks, and then have some candidates come forward as far as the appointment as opposed to this board selecting one choice with no community input. You could have other choices that are legal, not violating state law, besides the ones you chose. You chose the one with the least amount of publicity until the last minute. And, you know, it really wasn't fair to the communities that these people represent. I have nothing against any of them. But the thing is, I just really feel that people should have an input. And, I talked about transparency. And that's all I want from this. I don't want it my way. I want transparency so everybody can decide what's the best way to go. Because nobody's dictating here. And
You
we
can
all should
disagree with
decide.
the board, Mr. Procacci, and that's, that's.
But no, I just want to hear,
But we believe that the 2 candidates.
I believe you believe that, but the thing is, once again, it's all about community. It's about the people deciding. And there should have been at least, you could have waited 3 weeks, you could have waited 4 weeks till the March meeting, have a few candidates come forward who might want to be interested, see what the communities have community meetings around town, and then get a consensus as who do you feel comfortable with. Because you know there's
We really believe that we have.
yeah,
two best
but you
candidates.
really understand that the incumbent does have an advantage over anyone else because the numerous mailings you send out, picture and everything, that free publicity, taxpayer-funded publicity for anybody you choose. And anybody who's going to oppose them, good or bad candidate, doesn't have that advantage to have a taxpayer-funded election. I mean, this New York State wants taxpayer. I said, we already have taxpayer-funded elections in the town of Hempstead. No municipality sends out 25 mailings a year. No municipality, I don't have friends in California, New England, nobody, no town, no place, Republican, Democrat, anything. No one sends out 25 mailings a year. That's
I think
ridiculous.
that's why we have the most informed citizenry of any other.
We do not have an informed citizenry. How many people know there's a $30 million deficit for the 2014 budget? How many people know that? Nobody knows it because the press didn't even write about that. So I don't think they were informed. They're informed with what you want them to know.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Does anybody else wish to be heard? These 2 resolutions? Not to be in
Supervisor Murray.
Aye.
Councilman Eversino.
Aye.
Councilman Boothby.
No, because of the process.
Councilman Hughes.
Aye.
Councilman Santino.
I am very proud to vote for 2 outstanding individuals who will make wonderful additions to this great town board, Bruce Blakeman and Henry King-Sweeny.